for Black Girl Nerds.
Thank you, you guys, for your time today. Starting with you, Dana, as a creator of the series, what was this process like to bring Hildy's story to life in a serial form?
It was really inspiring. It was so much hard work because I was trying to do something that I had never actually seen before. And I think that can be really scary. There's a comfort in kind of trying to reproduce things that you've already seen work before. And I was trying to do something I had never seen before, which is give a young girl protagonist center stage in a really big way where it felt like an Amblin movie. I grew up watching E.T., Close Encounters, Indiana Jones, and I loved them. And of course, I identified with the young boy characters or the male characters, because I had to. That was the only option. But I wanted to see something that felt that big and respected that character as much as I felt that these sort of male movie stars get respected. And so it was a real challenge because throughout the process, I think before we went to Apple, a lot of people were like, but who is it for? Who is it for? And I kept saying, it's for everybody. I've seen movies that are for everybody. I've just never seen that on TV. So the challenge was trying to figure out how to get the tone so that adults would really love it and that kids would want to watch it. And that was honestly the biggest challenge and sort of the thing I'm the most proud of.
Excellent. For John, for you as a director, bringing Dana's vision to life, what was it most important for you to convey as you guided the actors through the episodes that you are in charge of?
I mean, I think when Dana first sat down and told me about this, the her concept of treating Hildy, or Brooklynn Prince, who plays Hildy, respectfully and as important as any lead heroic character in any big action movie, to me was very compelling. To me, felt very, especially when you have someone like Brooklyn who has so much gravitas for a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old when we shot this, and watching how her parents talked to her, not with just like telling a little child how to say lines, but having her have a discussion about understanding what Hildy is going through in this moment. And to me, I was a new father at that time, and so I was trying to figure all this out of how to talk to my daughter, what kind of world I want to build for her, seeing the toys. I mean, I remember going to a toy store and saying, "Yeah, I need dinosaur stuff." And they're like, "Who is it for?" I was like, "My daughter." And like, "Oh no, little girls don't like dinosaurs." I'm like, "Yeah, but I want dinosaur stuff." And like, "No, she's never gonna like it." I'm like, "Why are you doing this to me right now?" And I could feel for the first time that the systematic problem, and just the opportunity to be able to paint this little superhero girl that she wasn't carrying around a gun, but she was carrying around her voice and her journal, and she was going to print it unapologetically, and she was going to save the adults and save her father in particular, and that it wasn't going to be clean, it was going to be messy and complicated, but that's okay. And so I loved all those things in this story. Of course, it being fun and entertaining on top of it all, but all those underneath things, especially after having done Crazy Rich Asians, to me was probably the most important thing.
When I spoke to Brooklyn earlier, I'm always intrigued by child actors. And what she shared with me was that she learned a lot of things because her parents have always kept her very sheltered because she's so young. And she had to learn about, child abduction and racism and a lot of different heavy topics that children typically that age are not thrust into right away. Dana, what were those early conversations with her like about the character and making the character burst through on screen based on her naivety of life experience to really draw upon that?
Yeah, it was really sort of earth shattering for me to watch Brooklyn learn about those things and then see the way she processed that emotionally on camera. I had to get a t-shirt that said "I cry at work" because
Mm.
I'm like the boss and I was sobbing so much. And I was like, no, this is a power move. You don't understand. This is cool that I'm sobbing at work. And it was really difficult to have to sort of break her heart and say, sometimes parents are not good to their kids. sometimes alcohol can be a problem for people, or, trying to talk about racism in a way that felt like we could respect her ability to try to understand that. But then to watch her respond to me in the way that I would if I were allowed to, like if you tell her about something and she'll just start crying about it, and you think, yeah, it is really sad. It's awful. And, we as adults, we train ourselves not to do that, because if we let it in, if we really cried about the stuff that was really as upsetting as it is in our world, we would never stop crying. So, to watch her learn about those things and then to have that inside of her, it was beautiful. It was difficult. Um, and Brooklyn is really extraordinary. She's not, I always feel like she's not someone who we're trying to like get her to work. She loves the hard work of being there. She's doing it for all the right reasons. She's just an incredibly deeply empathetic person who I think normal life doesn't allow her to feel and to be treated as seriously as she wants to be treated. As we are talking about, little girls get underestimated left, right, and center. And, my daughter gets pat on the head all the time and told how pretty she is. And no one ever talks to her about anything else. Nobody ever asks her what is her favorite book? What does she want to be when she grows up? Never. They cross the street to tell her she's pretty and then they walk away.
Mm.
And, I hate it. It makes me furious. And I try to figure out different ways to talk to people about it. So, you don't want to say, don't call my kid pretty, but it's difficult. So this show is an attempt to kind of show a fully fleshed out little girl who is complicated, who is intelligent. And yet the real Hildy, she doesn't want to go to college. Like that was surprising to me. I thought, oh, well, she must want to go to college. And she's like, no, I want to be a journalist. And I'm already a journalist. So why would I go to college? I want to tell stories. I want to talk. I want to find the truth. That was inspiring to me because it shows you that people can be messy. Female characters can be flawed. They can be pushy. And you can still love them. They can be in positions of power. We have our character Trip, who becomes the sheriff by the end of the season. And just showing that is important to me. It's important that we normalize seeing women in positions of power, young boys who have emotions, young girls who don't think that showing their emotions is weak. Just all these different things that I was so happy to have this platform to be able to do it. And, we were going to do all that stuff, but we knew we had to make it incredibly bingeable, incredibly fun to watch, and feel just like a really good piece of entertainment, because you never want to preach at people. You just kind of want to say, hey, let's take it for granted that she's this smart little girl and let's go from there. So that was our quietly revolutionary act with this show.
That's awesome. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you so much, John and
It was
Dana.
so nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you
Thank
too. Have a
you.
wonderful day.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.